it's nothing you talk about because why would you share that, you know? But now, like my nephew who's 17, he struggles with it, and he's been hospitalized multiple times, and he almost, you know, tried to commit suicide multiple times, you know. And I talked to him, and I'm like, babe, listen, like it gets better, you know. Like I was there, I did it. We all, unfortunately, like my whole family did it. You know what I mean? Like we all struggled. I mean, it's almost like for as many people who tried, it's surprising that only one was successful at it, and it's horrible to use the word successful at taking your own life. Yeah. You know? Right. But, you know, I try to tell him, and unfortunately, like, because I remember being at that age and even back younger when I was cutting myself, and I'm like, at that point, you couldn't have told me anything. Like, you could have sat me down and been like, you know, so when I was your age, I went through it, and I'd be like, I don't care. You don't know what I'm going through. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. How about that for you, patients? Do you deal with that as well? Have you ever kind of? I know we're diving into super personal, but have you ever got to that point?
No, I haven't got to that point. You know, where I didn't want to be. But I do know that I just kind of felt. I kind of felt like, you know, no one really cared about me. I felt like, you know, it was just, and I was embarrassed to really talk about it. And I would really stop socializing so much.
I got you.
You know, it was like I was kind of in my own little world, and I like being in my own little world. So it was like everybody knew me there in my world, you know?
That's right.
So, you know, I never got to the point where I didn't want to live. I did feel like worthless and all that, but I didn't get quite to that point.
I got you.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I feel like, again, you guys, we want to know what you guys feel about this, man. If there's anybody out there, if you have family members, you have friends, how do you deal with it? Like in a situation like that, Greg, like you said, you briefly touched on someone that you felt you dealt with that might be a little off. Is that something going forward? I know, and obviously, the lady just gave the disposition, but do you? I know that's not an easy thing to talk about, but should it be talked about from the very beginning? If you meet someone prospectively, should that be talked about from the very beginning? Should you openly come out and say, "Hey, look, I suffer from manic depression. I suffer from, I'm bipolar." Should that conversation be had from the very beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much leeway do you give a person with that? Because again, it's not an easy thing to talk about. So, you know, how do you think in your opinion, how do you think you gauge that? Because a friend of mine told me that she ended up dealing with a dude. She dealt with a dude, and they were talking for maybe about 2 or 3 months. A year later, she found out that he was actually a certified schizophrenic.
Oh, Lord.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
But he never said anything to her about it. Like
Well, that's the thing. How do you? Like,
that's
how
what
do
I'm
you?
asking. Right.
How do you? My thing is, like, how do you start a conversation with somebody and say, "Look, this is my disability. This is what I'm dealing with."
Yeah.
You know, I know if it was me, you know, there's anything personal that I have that I've kept, you know, locked in the closet, so to speak, it's gonna be hard for me to just openly come out and say it. And like both ladies said, if they deal with depression, you know, that, not to say it would, but it could potentially scare somebody away. You understand what I'm saying?
True.
I'm dealing with depression. Oh, she's crazy. I don't want to deal with her.
Yeah, see, and that's why I always just start off with the "I'm crazy," because they never know the level, right? Because guys are like, first of all, when you start dating and you hear the crazy, they're like intrigued, like how crazy? Like, do you like S&M type crazy, or are you like stalker crazy? You know what I mean? So like they're more intrigued and they want to figure it out. So it's not until someone is like legit in it with me and like starts seeing more of it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Greg, in the situation that you were going through, you felt if she would have came to you and said, I'm clinical at this point, what would have been your next? Would you try to help her get through it, obviously, or would you been like, whoa, like, because I'm sure if she would have had that conversation, you would have been like, okay, this makes sense now, because sometimes I can't figure you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, at that point, if she would have had that conversation, how do you think you would have handled it?
I can't say I would have had more patience, because
you.
at that time I was still trying to deal with, you know, all the stuff she was bringing on me anyway. So if she had told me this is something she was diagnosed with, maybe, like you said, I would have had more of an understanding. Now we have access to the internet.
Right.
We have access to so many forums that people are actually going through real life situations that you may be going through.
Right.
So maybe I would have a better understanding about it. But it wouldn't have changed anything for me. She was just Off the charts, bruh.
I got you.
Yeah.
But you gonna say something, Patience?
No, I know. I was just thinking, like, that does take a lot of patience. You have to sit there and research what's going on.
And, and it's crazy because, like, I've dealt with it for myself my whole life, but I have no patience for anyone else.
Oh, okay.
Like, me dating someone who is, like, extremely depressed and suicidal, like, I have no patience.
Got you.
Like, it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
So it's not a kindred spirit type of thing if you met a guy?
No, because I dated a couple of them, and I remember, like, my one ex I was so pissed. Like, we had like a company Christmas party, and I came home with the change, and he was so like, oh, I just want to kill myself. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to Christmas party. I guess you're not coming. Bye. Oh. And dipped. Like, I was so over it. You know what I mean? Like, well, he was a piece of crap. You know what I mean? Like, he really wasn't a nice guy.
Got you.
He was abusive.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get something straight.
He looking at you.
I've been looking at you for the last 5 minutes, yo.
You see me like this, too, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at you
like, I ain't talking to Greg B today.
You telling me? See, I would think you would be okay with that because you have a better understanding of who the person is, being that you deal with it yourself.
Well, I think in that situation specifically, it was one of those things where he brought it on himself. Like, the situation that caused everything to happen was made by his poor decisions. So, like, I had zero sympathy for it. So, like, I think there's a difference between, like, I mean, I guess there's really no difference when someone wants to commit suicide, right?
Right.
But, like, when someone who clinically is depressed, like the first guy who I dated, who I struggled with, versus the second guy who had, like, everything in the world and then made some poor decisions after he was advised not to, and now life sucks, now I want to kill myself. You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of, like, the difference of it.
Yeah.
And,
I can understand how that situation would make you want to be like, okay,
I was done. So I was like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah.
But like, it was serious though, because he would call me some days at work upset, and I'd have to like run home from work and like
try to call him.
I'm so over you.
Yeah, it's tough. In a situation like that with you, Patience, how do you feel like do you think you'd be able to deal with it because you've gone through it yourself, or do you kind of feel like? So, I mean, so just being real. You know what I mean? How do you feel about it?
I kind of feel the same way, because if we both are depressed, I would say, or
that means no bills are getting paid, no one's going to work.
Exactly, no one's going to work, and that's not going to work out.
Yeah.
That's not going to work out.
Okay.
I mean, of course, I know my mate is going to have bad days, and I know they're going to, have ups and downs.
Right.
But we both sitting there clinically depressed. It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Sharing each other's Prozac and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, nah, fuck out of here.
We both in the bed just sleeping all day. No, it ain't gonna work that way.
I got you. You want to say something, Greg? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead. You stewing. I saw you stewing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with them, actually.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, when you're dating someone, you don't want someone that's exactly like you anyway.
Facts.
You want somebody who's different, not different in an entirety,
right?
But you want someone who's different, who has different levels of how they look at things. Like, girls be like, I want a dude who's a thug in the street, who's this and who's that. Yeah. And they'll look for that because that's something that entices them because it's different from what they actually are. They're not the girl that goes on the street is going to get into a fight with somebody. They want their man to have their back.
Yeah. Then
you have the opposite, which you have an alpha female who doesn't take anything from anybody. She'll slap the president of the United States in the face if she could.
After January 20th.
The current one, or not the old one. And she'll just do that. That's just how it runs.
Right.
So I agree with them. If I was in a situation where I was depressed, I probably wouldn't want to get with someone who was the same diagnosis as me. I would have. I joked around with Soul about it in Patience, but I think I would have a better understanding.
Yeah. That's
what they go through.
That's the thing, and that's why I think it needs to be addressed as a part of the understanding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's just, you're just crazy, and we need to stop that.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? That needs to stop. It can't just be,